Hello, and welcome to another episode of Skyrim Plus. Today I'm featuring Toxin Doctor Laboratory by Mihail mods. Let's check out the map. Here we are at Toxin Doctor Laboratory. We're next to Mzulft, just south of Windhelm, and here we are again at our featured home, Toxin Doctor Laboratory. For our world space view, here's Mzulft, and as you travel down the hill, we find our featured home. When I arrived, I was attacked and thrown up on by a Breton warrior. He forced me to end him. Upon closer inspection, his name was Hammondert, and he had the key that I needed to enter the lab. Now that we have the key, let's go check it out. And here we are in front of the lab. If the mod author's name sounds familiar, it should, as he's known for making tons of high-quality creature mods. And as for his lab, it has a mounted mammoth skull and green sludge around the door. Although the building looks pretty dilapidated, it's what's on the inside that counts. So enough lollygagging around, let's head inside. When we enter, we have a leaky roof. We can go upstairs or down. Let's head up the ladder first. And when we do, we find ourselves on a balcony. There's a table with more of that green sludge. I'm starting to sense a theme. And we find some harvestable plants near this lookout. And here's an awesome vantage point over the volcanic area of Eastmarch. Great view. And then when we turn, there's a pool of water. It's deep enough to swim in, but there's a skeleton at the bottom, of course, so buyer beware. Now that we've seen this area, let's head back downstairs. And when we do, we see this mini gargoyle statue and lantern. To the left is the doorway we came in, and now we'll head down this windy staircase. I don't want to make you too dizzy, so I'll meet you at the bottom. At the bottom of the stairs, we find a tunnel which will lead us to the rest of the rooms. Here's a spider web, and then once we get past that, you have a bedroll for a follower, and then you have some storage to the right. And now we're going to go check out the next space. And check out this space. I love the brick. The lighting's perfect. And there are a lot of interesting pieces of art along the walls. It looks like you have some interesting statues. That one looks like a Greek philosopher. You've got some maps, a mounted skeever head, and above the table with the scrolls, you have a painting that looks like a village going through the plague. That's creepy. And as we head towards this room in the corner, there's another statue and key storage. And we've made it into our bathroom with a wash basin, light, tub, and broken mirror from someone being too ugly. I won't point any fingers, but it isn't me. Okay, now that we've seen the bathroom, we'll head back out to the main space. There's a bench to sit and relax, a grandfather clock on the wall, and a painting of a skeleton hanging out with an old woman. As we head towards the door, there's some sludge on that container that looks pretty suspicious. In this next room, we find some wine and another spooky painting with some demonic-looking animals. There's a spot to store your pots and pans. And here's a cooking pot by the fire with some harvestable ingredients above. There's another light and a window that looks out into the main space, and a barrel for some mead. Okay, now that we've seen this room, we're going to head back out and see what the rest of this place has to offer. As we head back out, there's a dining table for two. It's right in front of a custom bookshelf, which looks appropriate for the space. And there's a custom rug draped over some furniture that looks pretty neat. There's our bench again. It looks like we have some more of that green sludge vomit on these rugs. Here's another custom piece of furniture. And then check out this picture of Death. Looks like he's taking up some gardening. Anyway, let's head to the next space. Our next room is to the right, and it has a fair amount of storage. You have several chests and a dresser to store your things. Here's your grindstone, so if you need to sharpen a weapon, you can. And check out this new display case mod I just got. It's called Showcases of Skyrim. I'll link it in my pinned comment. To the left of the light, we find a cool Dwemer-themed clock. And then on this table, you'll find a journal. The journal explains that the Toxin Doctor also got interested in Dwemer technology when he discovered Mzulft right next to his property. So he collected items and realized that Dwemer technology only works inside of ruins due to tonal architecture. Just so you know, the mod author said that Toxin Doctors are known for their study in the use of toxins, the creation of poisons, the developments of cures for diseases, or the use of them in a defensive manner, the application and removal of curses, and everything that creeps through the realms of pestilence. They also took to the front lines to heal the sick during plagues, wearing a peculiar leather outfit that protected them from diseases, which you can see a painting of as we enter the bedroom. Right under the painting is a double bed. There's a nightstand with a key to the safe in the living room, and that safe contains 3,000 gold, so you'll definitely want to check that out. And then when you look on top of the dresser, we find a Toxin Doctor outfit that we can take. Here's what it looks like when we put it on. Pretty creepy, right? Well, it gives us 100% immunity to diseases and poisons, so there are definitely some instances where that could be useful. Now that we've seen the outfit, let's continue the tour. Here's a dresser where you can store some of your clothes, and right behind that you have your workbench and tanning rack for your smithing needs. Here are a couple of mannequins to display your favorite armor sets, and check out that painting of the skeleton playing the violin for the old man. There are so many interesting paintings in this house. There's a custom chest, and then on the other side of the doorway you have a small lectern with a book on top. And right above that, you have a painting that looks like several people have come down with smallpox or a similar condition. Now that we've seen the bedroom, let's head into my favorite part of the home, the Toxin Doctor's laboratory. Before we get into the main part of the lab, we'll look to the right, where we have this cool Blackreach themed space, with the floor covering, the Blackreach mushrooms, and this awesome fountain. I'm really drawn to this space, but we still have a lot of visual interest to see, so let's continue. Looks like you have some nightshade and some hookah pipes. And then we step into the main lab, and it's eye candy galore. Those yellow and green lights really grab your attention. Let's go ahead and start to break this space down. To our left, we have another one of those cool Greek statues, and it looks like someone had an oil spill too. On these tables, we have a couple of soul gems and spell tomes, one of which is a poison rune spell, which seems very appropriate for this place to have. And then next we have an Arcane enchanter with another spell tome and a Daedra heart. And check out that cool decoration that matches the theme, as well as a shrine of Arkay right above your enchanter. And the Toxin Doctor has a comfy chair where he probably sits and reads books for his research. As we round the corner, we've got some more custom cabinets that look fantastic. And then back here you have a unique chair and a desk for the Mad Doctor to do Mad Doctor things. Now let's head out of this corner and see what the rest of the place has to offer. Here's Bitsy, a small frostbite spider that lives in the home. No worries, she's docile and completely safe. Just think of her as your pet. Maybe the two of you can cuddle up at night. And here's the source of that green and yellow light. It looks like something's growing around that pole. Let's go check it out. There's green sludge all over the floor emitting a dark fog. You have creepy Mad Doctor paintings and diagrams on the wall, and what looks to be a dead body with some green sludge underneath that blanket. I wonder if there's a way to figure out what or who that is. Oh, what do you know? Here's the doctor's notes on the afflicted. He says that 7 months ago, Hammondert and his wife Marion came to him for a cure for the curse given to them by the Daedric prince Periite, which makes them vomit a green substance and makes them chronically tired. The doctor also talks about groups of the afflicted that form and the effects that the sludge and spores have on them, but he also told us that Marion, the wife, turned into a zombie and Hammondert and he had to kill her. So now the Toxin Doctor is heading out to Bethardams to do some more research. And speaking of research, let's go check out the area right past this divider. It's your alchemy lab. It's beautifully lit and has a ton of custom paintings to give the home a lived-in feel. There's another picture of the Toxin Doctor, another skeleton, and several pictures of plants to study. Straight ahead is your alchemy lab. There's another cabinet where you can store some potions or poisons. And then to the right of the alchemy lab, you find some loose jarrin root that you can take. And when you combine that jarrin root with nightshade, you get a really potent damage health potion. If your alchemy skill's high enough, the mixture of jarrin root and nightshade could even help you one-shot a dragon. As we turn, we also have a wash basin in case you have any alchemy accidents. And now that we've made our way back to the Blackreach Garden and have seen all of the features of this home, it's time for final thoughts. Plague and Poison is Mihail's Mad Doctor-themed home. The laboratory provides a fascinating backstory of the former owner, along with appealing textures and unique artwork like these cool skeleton paintings and these awesome Greek-inspired statues. It offers a double bed for you and a friend, a bedroll for a follower, a pool, a cooking pot, an alchemy lab, an arcane enchanter, a workbench and tanning rack, a grindstone, a shrine of Arkay, a safe with 3,000 gold, and this stylish outfit that gives your character 100% immunity to diseases and poisons. And don't forget about your own pet spider, Bitsy. I promise she won't bite. If you're looking for a cool and creepy space, this home might just be the place. This concludes my feature of Plague and Poison. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell icon if you want to be notified of when I post. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.